What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Italian Football TV. We're a small crew today with Antonio and Peter missing, but Dad, you're back.
Yeah, it's a holiday, so these guys, they take the day off and we work.
And Gaetano, quality over quantity.
What, you trying to say Antonio's not quality?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
There's going to be a lot of people in the comment. Everyone is 50-50. If you read the comments with Antonio, he's been pretty funny the last couple episodes, though, because now Milan, with the way that they look,
right.
he's going crazy. It's either 50-50.
So you either love him or hate him. But the thing is,
how about us? What do we do?
When we travel around and people come up to us, you know, the only name that they say is Antonio.
Sure.
And they're freaking people from Libya, people from, I don't know, from Angola. They come, Antonio.
Remember in Istanbul? We met
people
I
from
don't know,
Libya.
3 people. They just like, yo, where's Antonio?
Yeah.
See, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
You see, the reason why they like him is because they don't see him for very long.
The other thing is, even people that they know a lot about soccer, they also like Antonio because Antonio is funny. So even though some people say, but Antonio is off the chart, you know, he doesn't know what he's talking about, but people still like him. Yeah.
Guys, before we get into the episode, obviously we still have some hats available, and you can see I'm rocking the Italy jersey, the new home Italy jersey, because we have our Euro qualifiers coming up, and we're going to get into a preview, and I'm also pairing it with our blue hats. The black ones are totally gone, but a few blue ones are still available. Link is ItalianFootballTV.com in the description, and also while you're there, make sure you like and subscribe on our episode.
Oh yeah.
But Dad, you haven't been here. We're 3 rounds into the Serie A. Before we do the Italy preview under Spalletti's new Azzurri, how have you felt about Serie A so far?
So a few things that I'm excited about, and a few things I'm not excited about. Okay.
Give us the excited first.
I'm excited about Milano. I think both teams are bringing a lot to the table. They playing really entertainment soccer, entertainment football, I should say, and there are a lot of new faces with the AC Milan, and I want to see when on the next game when they meet Inter, how they react. Even though they have a lot of new players, how do they react to a really good team?
September 16th is the derby.
Yeah, there's the break of the national team, and then the first game will be, I think it's a Saturday, it will be Inter Milan. I'm excited about Lecce, you know, this team that all of a sudden, they're playing entertaining soccer, they go forward, they're in 4th place. And I'm excited about Luvumbo.
Just like me.
Mike, you know who Luvumbo?
Of course I do.
Yo,
okay.
Mike actually brought him up on our preview show.
You did?
Yeah. Why'd you say that to me, like, specifically? Do you know something?
No, because...
he's looking at you. He thought you didn't know
because
him.
you know all the players from Serie A, so
he's not a player.
No, I thought you saw the video, that's why...
No, I didn't see the video.
I
saw...
He fooled you too.
I thought he was making fun of you.
I saw the highlights.
Why making fun of him?
I don't know.
He did good, he scored.
I thought he was saying you don't know him, you know? Okay, go.
I saw the highlights of Cagliari. Man, this guy was 20 years old.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He is so fast. What a dribbling, skills, a shot. He does everything.
He did really good in preseason. I think he scored 5 goals, and he got his name out there because he scored 2 goals against Parma in the Serie B playoffs. Okay. So that's where people started looking at him. That's where, you know, when I was reading the newspapers over the summer, he was the one that came up. But, I mean, to do it in Serie A, it's different than in preseason and in Serie B.
Right. It comes from, you know where it comes from? Angola. Very good.
Is that why you brought up?
That's why I'm testing him.
Wait, so, okay, you gave the things that you're excited about. Now give us the bad news. What don't you like?
The things that I'm not excited about. Too many players complain to the referee. They got to stop that, okay? Every time there is a foul, you got 5 players around the referee complaining. Please, stop, okay? That's one thing. VAR, I'm complaining about VAR. I think they should be better. They're still making a lot of mistakes. They need to improve that. And the last thing that I'm upset is that the last few minutes of the game, they don't play anymore. If you're winning 1-0, if you're winning 2-1, there's too much waste of time. It takes too long to take a throw-in. It takes too long to take a foul kick. It takes too long a goal kick. I mean, they take up to 1.5 minutes to take a goal kick. And
What are you sitting there with the timer?
I'm doing it with the timer. Yes,
Come
I
on,
am.
a legit timer?
Yes.
So on your phone or like a real timer?
No, I have a time.
Go to Amazon.
A time. Watch. Stopwatch here.
Stopwatch.
And if you're losing, the throw-in will take about 5 seconds or less. If you're winning, the throw-in will be about 30 seconds.
So you said you want to retire. I think you found a new job.
Yeah.
Go work for the FGC. go with the referee association.
And the same thing with a goal kick. A goal kick could take up to a minute or more than a minute to take a goal kick if you're winning. If you're not winning, it takes a few seconds. So they need to change that. They need to have a timer. 6 seconds for a throw-in, 6 seconds for a goal kick, 6 seconds for a foul, and then you got to take it. Otherwise, it goes to
Anto said that crazy stat that he apparently got it from Gazzetta or something, that the only time that the amount of time they actually play with a ball on the field is 60 minutes, which I still don't believe.
That I haven't time.
Well, Antonio with the number. Okay, so for people, for context, whenever I hear Antonio and stats that he read, I'll never forget when we were in the World Cup, and he said that 80% of penalty kicks go down the middle.
That was his own though. He said he read this one though.
Okay, but I don't believe him.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying he actually said I got it from this newspaper. I told him to go find it. I
think
find it.
A lot of the things Antonio just makes them up.
I know, I think so too. But he was so like adamant about this. So
When you ever seen Antonio read?
That's true. Okay. The last time I saw him holding the newspaper upside down, so that explains a lot of things.
You said all that. You said about the referees. I thought you were going with a team. I thought you were going to talk about.
That's going to come later.
Okay.
When we talk about the games.
You're saving it. All right.
Wait, what was your top four before the?
But now, why didn't we send that in the group?
That's why I said honestly.
No, I sent it to you guys.
When did you send it to us?
When you guys asked for it, I think I sent it.
What are you talking about? A year ago? We didn't do it this year.
I don't remember.
You were asking me who the top four were. Remember, I was.
I'll find this.
I was with. With Joy and Peter and Sal.
Okay.
And I sent you something. I think I sent it anyway.
It wasn't in the group chat.
The top four is the same that you guys have. Inter, Milan, Juve, and Napoli. I think everybody's got that.
In that order?
No, I didn't say in the order. I think Joy was the only one that put Fiorentina in there.
See, I see theirs, but I don't see yours.
Yeah.
Either way, it's all right. We'll trust you.
Did Anto put anything bizarre in his?
No.
I didn't put it in the order, but those were the four teams.
Okay, more or less.
If you want me to put it in the order, then.
Okay, where do we want to start? What team you want to start with today? We're gonna go over round 3.
Well, let's start with the Juventus. Juventus Empoli.
So boring. True. Yeah, Mike and Enrico Bocco di Foco. We're here watching the game.
What's his last name?
Why not? Who else was here? Somebody else was here. It was Miguel, an outsider, like watching Real Madrid fan. It was one of the most boring games I've ever watched.
That was a tough to watch.
It was a sleeper. I know it was 2-0, but there was no domination, not even from Juventus. And Empoli is bad this year. Yeah. Empoli is very poor. I have them going down, but even
they saw their best players, man.
But just a boring style, like completely. I thought so. Juventus had the first game against Udinese where they dominated. Everybody got excited. Then they had the second match where there was obviously a dip. But we said, all right, they're playing against Bologna, who Bologna knows how to press. Thiago Motta puts his team out. So I said, okay, we're going to see the first Juventus since it's against Empoli. That's a lower team. They're going to take the game to them. But I still never saw it.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I know they won, and that in the end, that's the only thing that matters. But I was a little bit disappointed not to see the first round.
They got problems. Vlahovic was disappointed, even though I think it's eventually come back this year and is gonna do much better.
Well, he started the season not bad. I mean, I know he missed the penalty, but
I'm saying yesterday, but it's gonna come back. But I mean, this guy Pogba, I don't understand why they keep this guy still around. Get rid of him, please.
It's expensive.
He can play one game. He can even play one. What is it? 2 years that he's there, and he hasn't played one game. And you still Allegri. He's still going. And after this guy Pogba, come on.
And he's got muscle fatigue already.
No.
He came off. There was rumors that he was going to be injured again after yesterday. Now they ruled out an injury, but I think it was like muscle fatigue or something like that. But he's the only. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you, but He's the only real creative guy in the midfield.
He was doing things.
And that's not to say that
if he doesn't play.
I know. That's more to say about the rest of the midfield,
positive.
where Locatelli and Rabiot have looked like a disaster in these first 2 games.
Yeah, Locatelli never made that big step to the big team. He's a good player, but nothing.
The thing with me with Juventus is the first game I think they played very well, and I thought a lot of people, maybe their expectations would change, including myself, on how maybe Allegri figured it out. I'm gonna play these guys, change out the formation, got Pogba back. But
Magnanelli, there was talks about everything.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's talking Magnanelli like he was
Guardiola,
like he was the sort of invented culture or something. The way they were talking about him, oh my god. But then the next 2 games, it looked as basic, bland Juventus back from last season, and it just completely shattered every hope I have had.
Yeah,
I had them in second place, but just the style, they're going to win games, but just the style they play, it just so...
The only 2 bright spots, Chiesa. I mean, Chiesa scores a goal. He needs it for his confidence. They talked about him renewing. Thank God they kept Chiesa and Vlahovic, because they're the 2 guys that could help save their season for me. Danilo also scored. He scored a goal, and I bring this up for you, not because of your name, but he dedicated his goal to Gaetano Scirea, who passed away 34 years ago. He also has the 6 for Gaetano, and then I didn't realize this. He has a son, Riccardo, that works for Juventus.
Yes,
and he gave him
I know
shirt.
him.
Really?
Yeah, I met him when he was here with the Juventus.
How was Gaetano Scirea as a player?
One of the best sweepers I ever seen. I mean, they were comparing him to Beckenbauer, and Beckenbauer was the best in the world. So between Beckenbauer, Baresi, Scirea, he's at that level.
What kind of was he?
And he was
technical?
a quiet leader. You know, he never very respectful to all the players. You never heard him yell at anybody. But when he went on the field, it was class. One of the best. Who's an
old school guy? I always get this from everybody, that he was like a butcher. He was an absolute butcher in the back.
Gentile.
Yeah.
I had
him. Gentile. He had, I think, he ripped Maradona's shirt. There was a hole in Maradona's shirt like this.
Opposite of his name. Of what
So
his name means.
He was a man-to-man.
Really?
So 1982, we got Brazil, Italy, and Argentina in the same group. So we figure we'll lose 5-0 to Brazil and 5-0 to Argentina. We beat them both.
Wow.
But Gentile, he was playing man-on-man on the best player from the other side. So he gave him Maradona.
Wow.
Hit him from the back. Talking about now that they don't touch some of the players' respect. There was no respect there. From behind, either got your back, got your legs, got something, your shirt, you were never going by.
Or your soul.
Today, a touch is a foul.
And you
in the
fall
box.
on the floor crying.
Yeah, for real. That's the one thing I get all the time. I just hear from I was at a place and there was a game on, not a Serie A game or anything, but somebody was telling me like, an American that doesn't watch it, like, this sport is just too soft. They can't take people rolling around.
But at that time, the players, they didn't want to go down. Like Maradona didn't want to go down. You hit him so hard, he was still trying to stand up and play. I remember Gullit once says, the harder they hit me, the quicker I get up.
Really?
Yeah. Because I showed them that I'm not, they cannot get to me.
What's Neymar?
Because if you go on the floor and you stay on the floor for 5 minutes, he goes, they think that they can get you. That was Gullit.
Gaetano, what would Neymar say to you?
Oh, my God.
Yo, how many more penalties would they have in those days? Maradona's numbers would have been really high. Him and Pelé, if they didn't go down today, it's pretty easy to get a penalty.
Those tackles would be present-day suspensions.
Yeah, for real. So, but Scirea wasn't like that. Scirea was more technical.
Scirea was very technical, very smart, and he directed everybody. Everybody would, and very quiet. They called him the quiet leader.
Wow. Anything else about Juventus? Anything else everybody's got? I don't really have anything else besides stuff that I said before. And after the game against Empoli, it's great that they win, but we need to see a rhythm that's back towards similar to the first game, I think.
The only thing Juventus got going for them is that they're not going to play in the cups, so they can concentrate the whole week and preparing for the game.
Well, Allegri said he said that hurts them.
Oh, that hurts them. Yeah, sure.
That's what he said.
Sure.
He said because I'd rather play every 3 days because I have more continuity.
Yeah, right.
He's just saying though.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah. Oh, did you see his quote? We should talk about his quote. It was pretty funny. He said you can't bring a pistol. You can't have a pistol and take on tanks.
And you can't take what?
On a tank. If you have a pistol, you can't fight against tanks. You get it?
Yeah.
But I mean, Empoli's not tanks. I know he's not referencing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think he's talking just in general on the way things are. We posted it. It reminds us of Conte. When Conte said, if you got 10 euros, you can't go eat in a restaurant that's 100 euros.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, different context of when they were saying it for Europe and stuff, but I thought it was funny.
Allegri needs to be unemployed. That's why he needs to be.
Yeah. Not fun. Not fun. Speaking of fun, let's talk about the teams at the top. Because I can't wait another minute. And I want to hear your thoughts on them. Milan is just rolling on all cylinders. 2-1 against Roma. But really, I think Roma only got into the game. And I said this as a joke. But Roma, they'll do good if they play against 10v11 every game. If they have to play one man up, then they start touching the ball and they get into a match. Besides that, if it stayed 11v11 without Tomori getting a stupid yellow card, because Belotti's going nowhere, there's no point of that. Milan run riot in Rome, which I knew that on the paper it was not. It was going to be Milan are better. No Dybala. Dybala wasn't even on the bench. Lukaku was on the bench. A lot of players not healthy, fully fit. Pellegrini, etc., etc. OR goes down injured after 20 minutes or so. Who's their most technical midfielder or creative midfielder in the team. But I thought, with Mourinho back, with the spirit of the Olimpico sold out, I thought it was going to be tougher. But for me, Milan pretty much, before they went to 10 men, were doing anything that they wanted against this team.
It's sad.
Milan is built. They're doing a good job building that team, and the new players that they got. There are some exciting players. They got creativity on both wings, on the right wing, on the left wing with Pulisic and Leao. They can beat their men at any time, and once you beat your men, that's it. There goes the defense. They got this Lotus chick who does a lot up and down. He even goes inside the area.
He's unbelievable. Loftus-Cheek when he sets up the penalty.
And then even this guy Okafor, which I didn't know, and Shewik, whatever his name. Chukwueze. I mean, they got speed. I mean, this guy Chukwueze, he's got speed. That when the other team is attacking and you put this guy in, man, you leave him 1-on-1. You're done. You finished. So they have a lot of ammunition that they can use. They got a goalkeeper who's good. The only thing that I would be concerned about AC Milan is Giroud.
Really?
Yeah, because
I thought you were going somewhere else.
Because Giroud, if Giroud goes down,
Okafor, Jovic. They got Jovic now.
But Jovic hasn't proven in Serie A that he can do anything. Yeah. And this guy Okafor is fine. Okafor is more as a wing. I'm talking about a center forward that can score goals.
But they were saying that he could play as number 9.
But can Jovic score the goals
with Leao and Pulisic putting the balls in? I think anybody can score.
So that's something that has to be a concern.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. I have a different concern.
Calabria.
For me, I have a concern about the defense, and not because of what Tomori. But in general, I think there's only 2 things that could take this Milan side down. And we also got to talk about Champions League. And I'm saying this, I can't believe how much I believe in this Milan side. Like, when I'm talking about this Milan side, like, I see them going far even in Champions League again. Genuinely. But there's 2 things that I have as my reservations so far. Defensively, because they push so many numbers up. They love to attack, which I love. And for me, they've been the most fun team to watch in the Serie A by far. If you tell me to watch one team, it's going to be Milan this year. But they put so many up. Reinders, Loftus-Cheek, the 3 up front, right? And they're leaving back the 3 in the back, which usually Krunic is the one that drops and Theo Hernandez bombs forward. My thought is when they play against Inter, for example, in the derby, they counter so much. Defensively, I don't think they're that great individually. That's my fear.
But the 2 guys on the middle, they're pretty good.
Yeah, but enough to stop a really good attack. If you got Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia.
You got Tomori. right? Who's very good. You got who's
Ciao.
coming back?
Ciao, Kalulu, Kier.
Yeah, Kier is coming back. I mean, Kier is a
can't
national
rely on
team
him.
player, and you got
You guys love throwing
Florenzi.
that word, national
What?
team player. You guys say it like it's
It's an old school
loyalty.
term.
What?
But you say
But Kier is not a good player.
Everyone gets called up nowadays
I
in
don't know.
national team.
I don't
No,
know.
come
I'm
on.
scared about the
Kier,
defense.
National team
Tomori,
player.
Thiago, Florenzi.
No, I agree with Marco with this one
I
for
would
sure.
not be
Calabria
worried.
gets beat 1-on-1.
I will not be
90% of the
worried.
time.
I think I'm worried about if Giroud goes down, there's nobody to score goals. And in Champions League, if you don't have anybody to put the ball in the
They're
net,
going to score goals.
you are
I'm
I'm not
dead.
nervous
scoring.
about the scoring goals because even
They're
in the
creative, they're
midfield,
creative.
Loftus Cheek bombing forward, he'll get you goals. Theo, Leao, I think goals out they'll be okay. It's more so injuries and defense for me. If they I know hypotheticals and we're going to ifs and you could say ifs for Roma. If Milan would stay healthy, I think that they could be one of the most deadly teams. I don't see how you stop. They even can break down a low block.
But Giroud cannot play every 3 days. You can't have Giroud play every 3 days. I don't think he can make
That's
it.
why they got Jovic too. And
Okay, but Jovic is a big question mark.
Yeah, he's a good. But you're gonna have to give.
He's
someone
pretty
your
good
rest.
as a real backup.
I mean, he's got
They got so much depth up
he's got
top.
the skills. He's
They
got
got
the
Luca Romero too. I know, again, he's not a
He's a
natural
mid.
center forward.
I mean,
but
I would have liked to have somebody that in Serie A has been proven
they should
in
have went for
Serie A.
Scamacca.
The thing is,
You know,
went
you
Scamacca.
had
too
Zapata.
long.
Zapata was for sale. Did he go to
He
Torino?
went to Torino.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
there.
last
He played
day, right?
already.
The last minute.
He played already. He started.
Yeah, he started. So
Yeah.
Zapata, he was on Scamacca, Arnautovic. There were some.
There's a lot of names.
Scamacca would have been, like, if we're nitpicking on Milan's Mercato, if they would have gotten Scamacca, I mean, it would have been ridiculous
yeah.
if they got it. But I would have invested that money over Scamacca in a better defender.
Yeah. For me, Milan, I'm nervous when they play a team like Manchester City and they get caught on
Or
counter.
PSG. Let's use PSG because
And
they're in the
say-
same group as PSG,
Okay, yeah.
Dortmund,
Yeah,
and
that's
Newcastle.
good. Even Dortmund are known for those quick counters, and they almost won the league last year. A lot of people are saying, we're not sure if this is Dortmund.
They almost
They're like
always
20
win the
minutes,
league.
But they're 20 minutes
I'm
away.
not worried-
with-
They
I'm not
lost
worried
Jude
about-
Bellingham.
I'm not worried
they're not
about
gonna
the
do anything in
defense.
Dortmund. You're not worried about the defense.
I think that's the biggest concern for Milan. Everywhere else, they look good. They're so creative. I feel like they're going to score a lot of goals this season. And it just defensively, they're going to, especially in Champions League, that's my
I
biggest
have a hot
concern.
take. I think
how they're gonna
they
defend.
top their group in Champions League.
Nah.
I think they top their group over PSG. I think
hope
they come
so.
in first place. I'm just still nervous. I'm gonna get a lot of answers.
If Giroud scores goals, yes.
No, if they
Giroud's
defend
another
well,
one.
if they can.
I was bringing this up with Antonio too. I said, "Are you nervous at all with Giroud?" He's like, "No, he
scores.
scores." But it's
He's
also
got how many goals?
Open play goals.
About three.
can
He's got,
score penalties.
He's got
Doesn't
three
matter. They
He's got
gotta-
3 penalties.
Dude, sometimes you need a striker.
They're gonna score goals. For me,
that
they're gonna
needs
score
to
goals.
Put a goal in the back of the
They'll be
net.
fine.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Giroud, maybe from 2 years ago, yes, I would say that. But I feel like age caught up to him, and he's not the same player
I
he once
disagree.
was.
I think that he's gonna
Well,
get.
right
Now he's
now-
got another guy. Like, he loves his layoffs. That's his thing.
no, right
he has
now
another
he
guy
is.
to lay off besides Leao. Last year, the only guy that really made runs in or
Right
did
now,
anything
what?
creative is
Right now,
Leao.
he is dangerous. Every
he's
time
very
he gets the ball,
dangerous.
he's dangerous.
He's doing great. He's
Yeah.
setting up his
I don't know.
teammates.
My
said the
thing
same
with
thing last season
Giroud
with
is
him,
his
too.
age, and he cannot play every 3 days. That's my only thing.
Okay.
With AC Milan.
Champions League group. You got any thoughts on that? On Milan's group? I say they're going to top their group. PSG, Dortmund,
They will
Newcastle.
qualify, but not in first
Yeah,
place.
second place.
Second place.
Okay. Listen, it's considered the group of death.
Yeah.
And I think it says
It
a lot
is.
about Milan that we got to this point where we're all extremely confident on their ways. But I think we'll get the most answers after a game against Inter, who I think is their hardest opponent, not because of the rivalry, because of the style. Inzaghi's counterattack, when they're bombing forward, I want to see how they handle that. Anyway, let's talk about Roma. Because Roma, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
Roma's
awful.
The thing with me for Roma, that's the unfortunate part that I was trying to say before, is, man, they literally have everything. I just feel like their fans deserve so much more. The way they played until up to that goal, it was so disappointing, honestly. They needed someone to go down a man so they can start playing. And to be honest, if there was like 5 more minutes in that game, I really could have seen them equalize because they were bombing forward, going for that equalizer. And Milan were really feeling that pressure towards the end. They were getting a lot of pressure in that defense. They were laying back, hoping for that whistle to blow. When
they're up a man.
Yeah, they're up a man. But I think just in general too, they're putting numbers up front. But I want to ask you guys, what did you guys think of Lukaku's debut?
Well, what'd you think about Roma in general?
Well, Roma in general, I'm very disappointed. You know,
You grew up
see
a Roma fan.
the good start you see from the morning, and they really started really bad. I'm very disappointed because they waited until the last day to get Lukaku. You know, they were going against Zapata, they were going against this guy, and they were going against again. And then they waited until the last minute.
They had
to get.
They needed Chelsea to give it to them on a loan.
To get Lukaku. Then they were trying to get the guy that went to Fiorentina, the center for. Yeah, the Brand. You know, they went
Argentina.
The Argentina. They went all over the place. Yeah. I mean, a team like Roma, they did a very bad job, okay, with the mercato. So now they got Dybala out, Pellegrini comes in and goes out, Spinazzola goes in, goes out.
Renato Sanchez injured already.
Aouar is injured now. I mean, it's a mess, and I think it's because they were not set up the right way from the beginning.
How so?
The preparation. I feel like this team was all over the place. There's something going on inside that team.
So
that to me is not right.
Are you saying like the way that all the players together, or the way the team plays, like Mourinho style, or is it the management that put the team together?
No, the management that put the team together. I'm very disappointed. Now, from what I heard, is they're trying to sell the team. So I don't know if that's the problem. And Friedkin is not all the way in building this team, or if they're just trying to get a piece there, and then sell the team. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But that's
this is just your opinion.
But that's not. That's not the way. If you want to be in the top 5 team, that's not the way you start.
They might be top 5. They're not going to be. The big thing is 4.
No.
For me, I know. Like if you check Gazzetta, if you check, 5. But whatever, 5 doesn't do anything for you.
No, for the future, there's also the rule coming in for.
Okay, yeah, but let's just go with worst. Yeah. You got to think worst case scenario because you can't bet on that. Yeah. Mike is saying next year they changed the Champions League format. So Italy, if we had the same season as last year, where we were second in coefficient points, we would get 5 teams into the Champions League. But it's a lot of ifs and buts. Let's not even go with that. Let's say top 4. You read Gazzetta. I heard Sabatini, what he says. Man, they're talking about, not only, they asked Totti, is Roma going to win the Scudetto? They're saying top 4. I said it before. They are so far away from being top 4. Like, I don't see how they're going to compete with Inter, Milan, Napoli, and Juventus. It's going to take a lot to crack into there. And I don't see it. That's with everything going right. That's with Dybala and Lukaku staying fit and working together. That's with OR being healthy, Renato Sanchez. And that's with their defense learning how to defend. Because individually, and I've said this before, Roma and Juventus, they remind me so much of each other where they're good defensively because they defend in so many numbers. They put everybody behind the ball. Zalewski gets beat almost every single time as a wing back. Like, they're just forced to play that style because they really don't have great players in defense. Hopefully Ndika comes in and fixes something, but
also Patricio, he's got to go.
But Patricio, sometimes
they got a free agent.
De Gea is available.
Yeah,
sometimes he makes a spectacular save, and then on the penalty,
he's not reliable.
You don't want to keep her like that.
He makes a stupid. The guy's not going anywhere. Why you put your foot in front?
He's not reliable.
You give him a penalty. It's a free.
It's not just that is the problem. Like, you know, if that's the only thing he does, it's consistently that he makes mistakes. But yeah, it's a mess. They're a mess. What do you? I mean, I don't even want to say this after 3 rounds, but. Mourinho, anything? Any thoughts on Mourinho?
Nah, it's too early.
I feel like that team is not. I don't know what coach. What coach can you bring in that's going to do better with this team?
A realistic coach.
Even if they do play an attacking style, which I understand what you mean by that. But either way, that team is not going. That team's not getting top 4 with any coach.
No,
bring that Zerbi in. They're gonna be balling. They're gonna be fighting for the title.
You need the best Lukaku, Abraham, Dybala, and Pellegrini. All this Pellegrini, I'm very disappointed.
What happened with Pellegrini?
Pellegrini disappeared.
What the hell happened?
Disappeared.
Once Dybala came in,
Jesus Christ!
These 4 guys, you need the best of these 4 guys to be in the top 5.
And you need a solid defense and a solid goalkeeper that comes up big.
So it's
a lot for a lot.
It's a lot of ifs, and now that they are so far behind.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's 8 points behind already.
But whatever.
Just started.
If it's early, that's not the problem. It's where do we see potential with this squad? And Mike Grella made such a good point to me behind the scenes. He said he showed me both 11s, Milan and Roma. Choose one player on Roma's starting 11 that you choose over one player in Milan's starting 11.
Bro.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. There's nothing there.
Starting 11, you can't find one player that you would swap.
Not even the city I would swap.
No, City. I like Rome.
I take Milan over.
No, I like Rome
I take
over
Milan
Milano.
over Rome.
Rome is beautiful.
I like Milano better.
History.
No, everything else.
What do you say, Rome or Milano?
He's gonna pick Rome.
Well, the Eternal City.
Yeah, this you
I'm
can't.
not saying I don't like it, but I like Milano better.
I
as a
mean,
city.
Roma, you turn the corner, you go back 2,000 years.
Yeah,
It feels like you're in a movie.
No, I get it. It's nice.
Oh, you had a bad experience in Rome.
No, it's not that. Milano reminds me of New York. It's very upbeat. It's very.
That's why I don't want to go there.
No, I like it.
Milano, they did a lot. It's a clean city.
Extremely
Sometimes you
cleaner.
look up and you see the side rise.
That's
To
a big-
work,
Yeah, you
okay, if you had to
Milano,
work in Italy,
yeah.
okay, you choose
Yeah,
Milan.
probably.
Sure. Live too, man. It's so. Bro, it's day and night for.
Bro, if you had to,
convenience.
if you were paid,
And safety,
you don't
too.
have to forget about a job, right? If you could live in Rome or you could live in Milano. Really?
Milano looks
Rome is so
better.
nice and sunny though.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's nice.
really hot there.
All right. This guy
don't
likes the rain.
But
I love Milan though.
you can't even go to the beach over there if you're gonna go as hot.
How far is
It's just a
the
tease.
first beach?
It's just a tease at that point.
Ostia, you gotta go to. It's probably
An hour?
30 minutes,
It's
30,
just-
40
it's,
Not
minutes.
that
it's a
bad.
tease at that point.
It's like Coney
It's
Island.
hot. Oh boy, Milan, think of Milan.
Should we talk about who do you want to go to next?
Well, leave Inter for last.
Okay. So go.
Napoli.
Choose.
Oh, you gonna say?
Yeah, let's go to Napoli.
Another disappointing.
I mean, I knew they were not going to win, but I never thought they were going to lose.
That was embarrassing.
I thought it was a
That-
tie.
that
I thought
was
it had a tie
bad.
written all over it because I saw a stat before the game. Lazio, number one, they played a great first game against Napoli last year in Naples. They played them really well. They limit their space, and it was tough for them to find anything behind the back. But Lazio also have never in their history lost 3 games in a row to start a Serie A season. Which, do you put a lot of weight into that? For me, there was a lot of pressure on this Lazio side to come out and to do something. And by all means, Napoli played a good game, though. It's not like Napoli played a bad game.
Beginning of the
Lazio
game.
scored the first time that they went
they're
up. They had
efficient.
0 shots in target. Nobody's defending in Napoli's back line. Luis Alberto was able to do a flick. And then even when they came out of the half, I thought Napoli was going to continue what they did in the first half. They lowered the intensity a little bit, and then boom, counterattack, Lazio scored 2-1.
So I didn't think Lazio was going to win this game, but then before the game, we were texting each other, and you said that last year Lazio won this game 1-0 in Napoli. And when you said that, I said, okay, maybe Lazio's got a chance to tie this game. I mean, Napoli, they started pretty good. Zelinski had a couple of shots. Kvaratskhelia looked good. Man. In the first half, he was...
Nutmeg like 2 people right away.
Looked incredible.
Yeah, he looked incredible. He was cutting, he was shooting it, a couple of shots. They were coming from the left, from the right, crossing the ball, taking a shot. The header from Osimhen. I mean, they had chances. But, this is football. This is going to happen. If you don't finish, then they're going to come down and they're going to score. But listen, give a lot of credit to Lazio. From the beginning of the season, I thought Lazio was going to do great. I told you.
Me too.
Because the only one that I'm missing was Milankovic. It's the same team from last year, except Milankovic.
The best player.
Yeah, but it's one player. I figure they would be able to find somebody there and Luis Alberto, who, I mean, Sarri, he always criticized Luis Alberto. So now all of a sudden, Luis Alberto is the best player on the field.
He was unbelievable.
Crazy.
He was that game when Luis Alberto plays. He could look like one of the best midfielders in the world.
Yeah.
He doesn't always
when he
want
plays,
to be on, and sometimes he's a little bit too cute. Like he doesn't want to get into a tackle and stuff. But he had problems all summer long with Lazio.
Because Sarri, he thinks that he holds down to the ball too long. He wants everything one touch. So, but look at Luis Alberto, what he did in the game.
But he also had problems behind the scenes with his contract.
Also
He thought they
bad
weren't
defending.
paying them. There was all different things. Now he's renewing. He's stink. Out of all the guys, he looked like the one that was going to be out the door. I remember seeing it on the last game. I thought it was going to be the last time. And he's a player I love when you watch him going forward. Felipe Anderson as well, though. We got to say, when we're talking about Lazio, Felipe Anderson does whatever he wants. And he's got a great physical side of his game, too. I know we know him for his technical abilities and what he does to open space. He's become the symbol, for me, of Lazio. Even more than Immobile, I look at Felipe Anderson. When I watch a Lazio game, I'm watching for Felipe Anderson. He's the leader on the team.
They have a lot. Zaccagni did his part. You got Immobile who can score in Serie A.
Provedel.
You know, you have
Provedel started a little shaky.
And then
you
you
made some key saves.
You have Luis Alberto. You have a good midfield. I mean, you have a good team. The team is good.
Kamada was the one that the Japanese new signing midfielder who wasn't playing great. Even his first 2 games, he wasn't good. Even in the first half, he wasn't great. But then he scores the goal, and the goal obviously changes everyone's perception of him. He scores for the first time in Serie A. So it's hard to really put things into place with his Lazio side. You know, Sarri, one day, you know, he's got problems in the back room with Lotito. You know, another day, you know, he loves his players and they stay the same. But I'm with you. I thought Lazio were going to start really great. They got 2 losses in a row, but also 2 losses to bad teams. You know, no, or I shouldn't say bad teams, but teams we expect them to beat, like Lecce and Genoa. Teams. Genoa, both, you know, coming from Lecce Serie B a couple years ago, but Genoa Serie B last year. So we never expected them to start that bad and then, boom, make a response against Napoli.
The thing I was saying in the last podcast was the first 2 games Napoli were playing great. We're like, oh, nice, Rudy Garcia's winning, whatever.
I need a water.
But the thing that was always in the back of my mind was saying, when Spalletti lost the match, when he played bad, Marco, get me one, please. When they played bad, the next game, he came up big. Thank you. He came up big, and he didn't really have 2 bad games in a row. He bounced back from a bad performance and proved that Napoli had that mentality that was needed to win the Scudetto. And I said, we can't judge Napoli based on how good they're doing now. We base them after a bad result and see how they bounce back. This is what I said last podcast.
That's a good point.
So now they lost this game. So now I'm really interested to see how Napoli come back from this defeat. And I just want to say, without Kim there, you could tell there's a huge presence. The defense looks all over the place. Luis Alberto did whatever he wanted, that flick. He was by himself. They gave him that goal pretty much.
We spoke about it. The weakest...
Say it, though.
The weakest point is Jesus in the middle of that defense. I don't like him at all.
He's not a star. He shouldn't be a star.
No, he's very weak. I never liked him. And to put him in the center of the defense there, you're asking for trouble. That's where they should have... they should have bought somebody for that, because the rest of the team is the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, they're still waiting for everyone to get back into that same form. Like Kvara, he was injured; he wasn't able to start. I saw everybody clowning on him too. You know that he hasn't scored since April. He hasn't scored a goal from open play or whatever it is. But I don't know. He looked on when he was starting. When he started the match, he looked on, and then they fell apart a little bit.
They faded though. They played a good 15 minutes.
No, more than 15 minutes.
Whatever. But they looked incredible. The only thing that was missing was a goal. They looked. Kvara looked like Kvara 2.0. I was like, whoa, this guy did something different. And then the goal didn't come. Lazio forgot that chance, immediately scored, and it kind of shattered them a little bit. And they also had 2 more goals that were taken away. Let's not forget about that. Where their defense, remember that breakaway?
Right calls. Bro, they were all sides.
No, I get it. But the Napoli's defense was nowhere to be seen.
you guys mentioned the defense. There's one other part to the puzzle that they thought we thought they were going to try to solve over the summer was the midfield. Right, and the midfield, they're really good and technical, but they didn't provide a lot of goals last year. Like Laborca, Anguissa, Zielinski, they didn't have big numbers in the midfield in terms of goals and assists. So they were looking for Gabri Vega, who scores a lot and gets a lot of assists. That was one part of the mercato that we were also waiting for. You know, did they get a Kim replacement, and did they really get another midfielder that can help you score goals?
Yeah, you're right about that. But let's not forget they got Politano, Kvara, Osimhen, Simeone,
Raspadori.
And Raspadori.
Yeah. Lozano left, by the way, officially.
You got these 5 guys.
I'm just saying.
These 5 guys, they should be able to provide enough goals. I mean, don't give Simeone 6 minutes in the game.
Well, he always got that under Spalletti.
Huh?
He always got 5 minutes under Spalletti.
I know, but now you need it.
At the end of the season, he wasn't even playing.
But you're losing the game,
Yeah.
The one other caveat that I'll say is I know people kept saying, the first time they lost their first match was in like halfway through the season, 16 games into the season or whatever it was, Napoli. But they face a Lazio early on. You know, they face this Lazio side that they're not able to dominate. So I don't have any cause for concern because they lost the match. Like I said, I thought they played overall a really good game. You know, besides the moments that we spoke about, they did. They handled the game well. They need to improve in certain aspects, and all of these little holes that we're saying in the defense and in the midfield are things that we had concerns of coming into the season. So I don't think the alarm bells need to be going off in fear of this Napoli.
No,
There'll still be a team that's going to compete. Kvara and Osimhen are still going to score goals.
For sure.
Next game, Genoa-Napoli in Genoa.
That's a nice bounce back to come from.
Genoa's kind of tough.
Yeah, they're not easy.
You know who Genoa remind me of?
Yeah, they lost in the last minute. And
Torino, right? A sick goal, too.
Yeah.
Radonjic.
That
was an insane goal.
Yeah.
That guy, he's another, like, it's so funny to watch. There are players that are so talented and on their day, right? Like Luis Alberto, but they're not consistent enough. Because if they're consistent, if they play like that, bro, forget it. They're in Real Madrid. They're in Champions League football every single week on the best teams. But it's interesting to see the qualities that they have.
Andreva's like that, man. He scores worldies, and then other games, you forget he plays. It's crazy.
Yeah. Who else we're going to? We did Roma. We did Lazio.
We did Napoli.
Napoli, Inter, we're leaving for last.
Are we
Fiorentina.
Fiorentina got the. I mean, Fiorentina. We talk with Inter.
We'll talk with it when we talk with Inter.
Okay. One other thing, Lazio. Since actually we should do the Champions League groups for the two of them since we didn't do it. Yeah. Napoli's Champions League group. I think they fight with Real Madrid for the first two spots.
Right.
I mean, we can't complain about the groups. I don't think.
For the most part, it was pretty good.
You know what, Lazio? I'm nervous not for Lazio for the players and for the way they play.
Sorry.
I'm worried about the mentality. Do they really want to play in Champions League? Because historically they bow out. And Feyenoord is also a team that finished first place in their group last year against them in the Europa League, and Lazio finished in third place, and they went down to the Conference League.
Also weird.
Well, but Champions League I think it's different. There's so much money involved in Champions League. If you pass the first round, you're talking about a lot of money. So,
but is Sadi going to say, I don't have the team to play in all these competitions?
It's Bologna.
No?
Bologna.
All right. So you think they get out of their group?
That's Bologna.
You think they get out of their group?
Yes. Yes.
Read the groups. You remember?
Let's give it a little refresh, Marco.
So we did Milan's.
Okay, but Lazio scares me though. I agree. Like I don't think he gives it his all, and he'd rather go top 4 than go to the next round of the Champions League. In Serie A. Because that in his mind, that's all that matters. Top 4, top 4, top 4.
So we mentioned Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, obviously, and Celtic, which are not fun places to go.
Yeah, it's not easy.
They're not fun to travel to.
Very hard to play. Yeah.
Again, well, I'm not saying that Lazio's not better than them. I'm saying that if they try to play and they play the way that they did last year when they finished in second place,
then they could do something.
Yeah, I see them getting through for sure.
Yeah. Is Simeone still with Atletico Madrid?
Crazy, right?
They sold Joao Felix, right?
Barcelona,
I think he left to Barcelona
last day or something.
Inter's group is Inter, Benfica, Real Sociedad, and Salzburg. I mean, we know Benfica from
got
last
Di Maria
year.
too. They got stronger.
Sold Gonzalo Ramos though.
They sold Gonzalo. They sold the goalkeeper. Yeah.
Vlachodimos.
Yeah.
That's how he knows it. He didn't want to say that he's Greek. I see Inter top in the group.
Yeah.
Inter top in the group.
Yeah.
What do you guys say for Lazio? They go through?
Second place.
I think they should go through. Second.
If they do what they're
but what do you
supposed
say?
to. I don't know how Saudi's going to go through with them. I'm going to say second place. I'm going to be optimistic.
I'm going to say that they don't go through. I think Lazio's the only team that doesn't go through. I'm sorry. Just saying the truth. Milan, I said first place. You guys said second. And then Napoli, Real Madrid. Real Madrid started the season.
Second.
No Vinicius. Vinicius is out for like 6 weeks.
Still Real Madrid. This is
But
a competition. This is a competition.
They got the stadium is brand new. Did you see their new stadium?
No.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
Jesus.
It's got a roof that it closes and all the sound echoes within the stadium.
Jude Bellingham said it's even louder. It's the loudest he's ever played on. He played in Dortmund where the fans are crazy. So could you imagine all those fans?
They have 5-star restaurants in there. I think they have 5. Is it 5 restaurants?
There's a few. I know there's a few.
It looks gorgeous from outside.
And overlooks the field.
That looks great. I would love to go to the Bernabeu.
And they got you know that LED board thing? It goes around the whole stadium. You know, sometimes it's
on
just
the outside,
portion.
right?
The inside. They also have on the outside the panels.
Yeah.
But
it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, they have like an LED screen that goes around. It's a whole strip that goes around. It looks so
I've
cool.
always wanted to go there. That's my okay. Funny question for you.
The field retracts in, so it could be something else. It retracts.
It goes underneath the ground.
Underneath the ground. Yeah.
I love that it has a roof. I think that's really cool that they could choose what they want.
Yeah.
For real, that was my dream stadium, Bernabeu. Besides Italy, like if you take Italy, where's one stadium that you guys would love to go to visit? Dream stadium.
Spurs, I mean, is worth $1 billion now, right? They have state of the. And I'm just throwing out
Manchester United
stadiums.
for the history.
Yeah, but it's so old. Old Trafford.
But I've been to Barcelona. I saw the stadium
that's
there.
nice.
Camp Nou looks beautiful.
It does. But I'm talking about
Bombonera.
being modern. No,
I'd like to see
I don't
a
know if
game
I'm gonna
there.
I don't know if I'm gonna come out with all my limbs. But yeah, it's amazing, man. Apparently.
All right, so what's one? Mine has always been the Bernabeu. I always wanted to. I remember it's because Zio Franco went one time, or my uncle went. He's a Milan fan, but he likes Real Madrid, right? He like appreciates them, and he went to. I remember him showing me pictures when I was young, and I always wanted to go to the Bernabeu to watch Real Madrid. There's just some aura about them that like it's kind of.
Dortmund's also cool because of the fans, and the seats, how they're built.
I've been to
they're
Dortmund.
Oh, you
Did
went
you?
there? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Tell them when.
2006.
Oh, for the World Cup.
Yeah, I would have been there too.
Germany
I was almost there.
crap.
versus Italy.
Olympia Stadion. What is it?
Yeah, Dortmund. They started singing more than an hour before the game started, and we were sitting next to that wall over there, all yellow.
Yeah.
When the game started, my ears were they were in pain
Really.
of how loud the stadium was. I'd never been in such a loud stadium.
When we went for the Champions League semifinal, the volume in it was rumbling. Well, you guys went to the final, so I'm sure it was even crazier. Whatever.
No,
maybe not, because it's a derby, I guess. The volume, it was like, the best way to describe it is like 4D. It was just inside of you, like the sound. Everything was just rattling. The volume, there's no words to describe it. My blood was shaking inside.
Really?
You felt everything.
Did you take a second?
Goosebumps. I tried to, because I was just trying to do a million things. But there was like 2 minutes where I just sat down during a goal, and I was like, whoa. It felt so surreal. It was like a feeling I can never explain or never felt in my life.
Yeah, the thing is, with the final in Istanbul, the Man City fans didn't do anything.
No,
Man City fans were
the Inter fans that did a great job.
They were beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, they were loud, they were great,
nothing,
they were colorful, but Man City, no.
Until they scored, bro, you didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear a thing from them.
It's crazy.
The Inter fans dominated. Okay, so I said Bernabeu. Where's yours? Are you going with Dortmund?
Maybe I would like to see a real modern stadium, so either Madrid or Spurs, just because it's state of the art. I want to see some state of the art.
What's yours?
I want to go to Man United. I want to
Old
see
Trafford?
that before they close it.
What would be cool? Man City, Man U is incredible. I mean, Man City will probably win the game, but back in the day, watching Sir Alex Ferguson's Man United in the derby would be beautiful.
Wembley, probably be nice too.
Yeah, they say Wembley. Hey, the final is in. I think it's Wembley this year, Champions League final.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if an Italian team goes, we'll see how that works. Comment below, guys. Anyone, what's your dream stadium outside of Italy? Outside of Italy, choose one. What are you gonna say?
Sassuolo Stadium
As
a moat outside the stadium where you can fish.
This guy's obsessed with that. He tells everybody
inside
that.
the stadium. What am I talking
He
about?
tells random people
In the
this.
Mape,
Yeah.
there's a moat around.
yeah.
And people fish. People got fish before.
There's water in between.
It's water.
I've heard of it, but
no pitch invaders.
Yeah, I guess you can. I went to Salernitana's and there's no water, but there's that gap there, and the bowl
wide is it?
and
How
the
wide's
bowl
the
it's
gap?
pretty wide.
where they
how many
fish
feet?
net
Probably like the same amount.
to get the ball.
Whoa, I don't know.
I don't know. There's
5,
there's like
10, 20?
no, not that big. Small,
I
bro.
don't know, I'm
Small,
asking.
like the size of this table, bro.
Oh,
It's
okay,
not big.
it's small. Okay.
And there's a kid that goes with like a fish net, literally like a fishing net, and he gets the balls and he picks
I've
up the
seen
balls.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I have a video somewhere of it. When I saw that, I was just like, I know like the Bernabeu, it's gonna be gorgeous and beautiful, but there's something like kind of homey about that, like that is like a young kid and they're all fighting to like who gets the ball and stuff like that.
Oh, guys.
There was something fun about that.
So silly.
Okay, so we did the Champions League groups. I guess we only have Inter and Fiorentina left. Start us off. Somebody else start us off, because for Inter, we said a lot about Inter. I don't think I learned anything new about this Inter side. It's only confirmed everything that I went into it, because I have them as Scudetto winners.
So the expectations were from Fiorentina, because Fiorentina's got a nice team, and they bought some nice players in the midfield. They got a goalkeeper from a national team. They got Arthur in the midfield. They got forwards and Zola and
Beltran.
Beltran,
Yeah.
and they got Nico, who's been doing great. So I expected a lot from Fiorentina. I thought that the game was going to be very close. I even put a tie for that game. So I was expecting a lot. But the way that Inter came out and the way that Inter playing, it was a tactical And listen, I mean, they did everything to perfection. They go up. I mean, they're playing without. They know where everybody is. They don't even have to look. They know that Dumfries over there on the wide. The Marco is wide on the left. The passes, as a matter of fact, perfect. And Lautaro, wow, what can you say about Lautaro? The guy is on fire. Is a bull. He wins every ball. He tackles even the defender if he has to tackle. And you know, you think something different about Lautaro. The way he plays like he sacrifices a lot.
Oh yeah.
He sacrifices a lot for the team.
Too.
Yeah, he's a hustler.
Real hustler.
You know, and usually, you know, forward you don't do that. The forward you stay up there and you get to the ball. And
they're known as like lazy, selfish.
And then you get the ball and then you do what you have to do.
Higuain would never.
Yeah. So now Italiano says, well, he takes the blame. They were tired. Listen, don't give me this thing with tired. That I don't want to hear it. When you put the team on the field, you got players. You got players on the bench. You know, put the best team there and put the team that you think is going to do the best. Okay. Also, you got to substitute the F of the team. You can make 5 substitutions.
Yeah.
So the team is built so that if you play every 3 days, every 4 days, you will have some substitutes, some people to put there and to do well.
Also, we didn't ask you. Everyone had a different answer. Who would your capocannoniere be for this season?
So at the beginning of the season, I think you asked me. I gave you Osimhen. I don't think I put Lautaro there. I think I put Osimhen to be the. I put Immobile number 3.
Osimhen's a good one. I mean,
yeah,
I put Lautaro.
I think I put Osimhen.
Yeah, you put Lautaro?
As a number 1. I put Osimhen.
He doesn't take the penalties though. Hakan takes the penalties.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's
Osimhen
just so
takes the
prolific.
penalties, yeah.
I think he's just.
Well,
and
listen,
he's showing it.
this Inter side, it's exactly what I expect. I didn't think they would beat Fiorentina like that.
Yeah.
It's usually a tight game. Honestly, Inter Fiorentina is usually one of the games that I circle on, and I'm like, oh, okay, because Fiorentina's got the courage. They like to play against them, especially against the top teams. Inter dominated from start to. I didn't expect
it was
pure
comfortable.
domination.
It was very comfortable.
But this is a team that I couldn't believe how negative a lot of Inter fans were online, and maybe part of it is the reverse psychology aspect of it. But this Inter side is built. It has so much depth. The depth in the midfield is ridiculous. They've got the best, even the left side, the right side, the players that come off the bench. We haven't even seen Fratesi really get his time yet. The defense now with Pavard coming in, De Vrij stepping up, Darmian. They're unbelievable. They are unbelievable everywhere. My only question was the striker position, where Thuram has come in and Thuram gets his debut goal. And he's not really the number 9, which I just love in a team. Like, I like a pure number 9. I like teams that just play a striker, but he helps the team play well, and he's helped the team play well so far. And I think that he's done a really good job at that. And I thought him and Lautaro were too similar, and I don't love him yet. But so far, it's been so good. And the fact that they have Arnautovic on the bench that comes in, he adds a level of quality that's unbelievable to the team. Inter, between Inter and Milan, they're both amazing, but I have this Inter taking the edge. I think Inter is unbelievable.
They do
this
have
year.
the margin. I wanted to say, I wish I had my laptop. I had a picture. I'm not gonna find. I saw it on social media. I saw a picture of Inter's second team. And it looks so good that they can really compete for top 4. Their B team looked so good they can compete for top 4.
They have no weak points. There's no weak points for Inter. And whenever somebody goes out, they can replace it with top players. I'm saying they got Cuadrado on the bench.
Look at
Cuadrado is a top player.
It's the same.
So their B team.
This is their B team.
Their B team is Aldero, Pavard. Here, just look. Aldero, Pavard, Acerbi, Bisek, who we don't know yet. Cuadrado, Fratesi, Asllani, Sensi, Carlos Augusto, Alexis Sanchez, Arnautovic. Well, Sensi's already injured. He's always injured. Asllani never gets a minute, so we still don't know what to expect from him. But yeah, I mean, and Bisek is the question mark. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, it's a team that it's competitive. And this is, people, laughed at the way that they've done deals and what happened with Samardzic and all that stuff. But Marotta builds teams like this.
For sure.
Marotta builds teams that compete.
There's no weak point.
The crazy thing is that they had a 1-for-1 mercato. They spent 100 million, but they sold 100 million. It's 1-for-1 because that's the reality of where a lot of Italian teams are. And I know they got rid of Onana, but 55 million plus Valenza for a goalkeeper, they got him for free, and he went for 55 million. And even he's struggling now in Manchester United because he doesn't have that same defense in front. And I think a lot of it comes down to that. The team is built well. They know each other well. They've only grown. And I think that they have a chip on their shoulder. The last 2 years, or this is the third year, right, of Inzaghi, they've gone in as Scudetto favorites. They've always been the bookies' favorites. They're even the favorites this year. But they've always thrown it away because in the lesser games, they haven't always come out. They don't always do their job. They've lacked motivation. They went to the Champions League final where they played against Manchester City. They got nothing to take from it. The only thing they've won in the years is Supercoppa, Coppa Italia, which doesn't have the same feeling as Champions League and a Scudetto. Not even remotely close. I think it's also a team that's mad now, that's angry. They're organized. They have technical ability.
They're not leaving up to chance.
But that's what I love. That's what I love about this Inter side is they balance between playing good football, and I think they play good football, good technical football, but also have a fight in each of them. There was a moment, Hakan, was it against Monza? It might have been against Monza, where he makes a last-ditch tackle. This is Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who, when he was playing at Milan, I said I never even liked Hakan Çalhanoğlu. The fact that I'm obsessed with this guy now, he's added this dimension to his game where he's tackling, he plays a physical game.
They transformed his position also.
It's amazing.
He's so much more his free kicks too. Oh my God! I think it was last game. The goalkeeper saved. It was incredible.
But I want Fratesi. I need to see Fratesi starting. Listen, Mkhitaryan.
It's gonna take some time.
He's got to be a guy that comes in off the bench. Mkhitaryan. I like Mkhitaryan. I like what he brings to the team.
That's what it's gonna go to. It's gonna go to that though.
Fratesi, but it needs to happen now. That's
okay.
I gotta give. I gotta say
it has to happen now. Start. It's gonna get to that point.
He's not gonna start against Milan.
Yeah,
Fratesi?
probably no, it's not. Of course not. We know Inzaghi's calculated. He doesn't like any surprises. He's very by the books, by whatever's there.
That's my one. That's my one thing that's bothering me. It's like an itch. I'm like, come on.
I'm sure within the next few months.
And when they get Fratesi that plays, he's a problem.
He will. His time will come.
Fratesi's gonna score.
Will do well.
I'm telling you guys now. Fratesi scores in the derby. Comes in off the bench, scores in the derby.
They don't need him to score. He does everything else. Fratesi's gonna be a really big key for this Inter side. He's gonna be all over the place.
All right. So let's talk about the Italian national team under Luciano Spalletti, who we have our 2 Euro games. Let's do a little preview. Reminder for everybody, we're in our blue Italia hats. Link is in the description, ItalianFootballTV.com. As we go for the preview, Luciano Spalletti is our coach of the Italian national team. He made his call-ups. He left off some notable names that some people were upset about, like Verratti, Jorginho, Scamacca, to name a few. And his justification for it was that they are not getting regular playing time yet, and that he doesn't want to call players off of just their name yet. And he wants to call players that are fit. Just to push back a little, I mean, he called Fratesi, who's not really playing at the moment. And I think there's a couple more that don't always play, but he knows them well. Mm-hmm. But anyway, before we get too much into it, what do you think about Spalletti as a national team coach?
Spalletti is a little bit, is a crazy guy, but that's what you need right now. Let's get something there. I mean, we need somebody with that. He's got some, cojones that he goes there and he does something. I was tired of Mancini and with the same old favorites, and
I hate that. I hate when they call favorites, man.
This guy he's not afraid. The thing about Spalletti that I like, he's not afraid. To try things, and this is what we need right now. We need somebody that brings some excitement to this national team, which Mancini at one point, after the Euro win, he abandoned. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Spalletti. I want to see. And he did very well. Wherever he's gone, the teams always play well. Mm-hmm. He made all his teams play really well.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can do the same thing with...
he left them in a better position. He came in for sure.
And we always said Spalletti, I think with Inter, you can only bring it to the top 3. You can with Roma, they all play great.
Very good.
But you're never going to win something. Well, he did win something with Napoli.
That's right.
So let's
show him some respect around here, right?
Yeah.
So let me push back real quick though on you. Do you think that he'll be able to match the same beautiful style of football, even though he's not working day to day with a club? Like, as national team, you gotta, like Brazilian, they call him the seleção. You're the selector. You don't teach them how to play.
But the important thing is he's got a philosophy of game. He's got the way he wants them to play. If this guy's really smart and he gets the best players in Italy, I think he will be able to transmit. Also, do you play defensive? Do you attack? Do you put high pressure? I mean, he's going to have to decide that how to approach the game. So that comes from the coach.
So there's a couple things that struck me with Spalletti, and I think I said it before, but once Mancini went out, I was in Sicily I went inside the beach. And we had a national team coach. And it came out of the water, we had no national team coach anymore. And immediately, first guy I thought of, because the rumors right away are Conte and Spalletti. And my immediate knee-jerk reaction was Antonio Conte. Because I said, I can't take not qualifying one more time for the World Cup. Conte is going to grind, no matter what, he's going to win you games. There's no way in hell that he's not. He'll make you freaking motivated for any match. We're playing against Macedonia. We're playing against Ukraine for these matches. He's going to grind them out. Grind them to the gears, right? So that was initially what I wanted. But then as I took a step back and I started thinking about the team that we have, the qualities that we have, what we're lacking in, what we're good at, and also just sometimes timing is very important in football. The timing for Spalletti, I think, is the perfect timing, both for the players that we have, the midfield that we have, but also just the fact that he's like on this trajectory of this is where football is going, where he's not tied down to formations. He's tied down to finding space and not overstepping and bringing enthusiasm to a team, because I think that's what we really lack. I don't agree with all the people that say we have no quality, we have no players. That's not why we didn't go to the World Cup 2 times. We got ahead of ourselves. We made wrong decisions. I think Mancini called up the wrong players. We rested on our laurels. And I think Spalletti's the right guy. And after I watched his first press conference, the enthusiasm that he has. I mean, it feels like one of us became the national team coach. He's oozing with pride. He looks like he's so excited about the job. And that's what we need. That's what we need more than anything. And he mentioned a couple things, and I'll bring it up. I said calling players up on their merit instead of just their name. He said that we need to play a football that everyone will enjoy to watch, which I think in today's day is extremely important, and he brings that. He said he wants happiness from his players. He said, I expect happiness in everything that I do, but I also expect my players to be happy when they play my football, but also play with a smile and that they respect the shirt that they wear. He also said that Italy have one of the strongest midfields around, and that's one of the things that he believes in a lot with this side. And I also just like the way that he's taken a step back and he said he's not tied down to certain players on where they play. He said it's important what you're going to give to the team, not necessarily if you're from a different background or whatever. So all these things have led us to Spalletti, and I'm very excited for him.
If he expects happiness from his players, what do you think Allegri expects from his players when he plays their football?
The only happiness of Allegri is in his name.
I see what he did there. Okay,
but yeah, I'm extremely excited for these games. We're playing Macedonia, who I think we all would like to just put that one to bed and to win. It's funny that that's his first game, and he hasn't had a lot of time. I was reading today, there's this journalist I follow, Lorenzo, who was inside his training sessions, and he said the first thing that Spalletti was working on is pressing. It's the press. And I think that we have the qualities to be able to play and to do well. The expected 11, I have the predicted 11, 4-3-3, of course, because that's how he always starts with it. And he said that we'll move to a 4-2-3-1 in game if we need to attack more. Donnarumma in net, Di Lorenzo, Casale, Bastoni, Di Marco as the 4-man backline. Casale gets his call up, who did amazing with Lazio last year. For some reason or another, Mancini never wanted to call him. Strange. Barella, Locatelli, and Tonali in the midfield, which, all right, I got a little question about. And then Politano, Immobile, Chiesa to start. What do you guys think?
Politano, Immobile, Chiesa.
This is what they're saying to start.
Politano is doing really well with Napoli. I mean, he beats his man and he puts some nice ball into the area. Immobile is a question mark. Immobile has never done anything good with the national team. That's my only question mark with this team. So I would have given somebody else's.
He's got Retegui on the bench.
Huh?
He's got Retegui also on the bench. They're expected to just start with Immobile. This is just newspaper saying the report.
I would have started. I wouldn't have started Immobile.
Scamacca should be starting.
I don't see why. The Scamacca said that he understood why Spalletti didn't call him because he was coming back from an injury and he didn't play in the first 2 games, or he didn't start in the first 2 games. I agree with you. He also brought Zaccagni within the team, I should mention. That was also another guy that famously Mancini never wanted to call. There was some problems, Zaniolo, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the hell that was about.
Yeah. He got Zaniolo, right?
He's got Zaniolo. He's got Zaniolo.
So I didn't realize Zaniolo is in the Premier League now.
Yeah, Aston Villa.
Yeah, he signed for them. The one other thing I wanted to just add about Spalletti, for me, is that in his history, in his teams, he's always improved the striker. He usually has a very good striker who he knows how to make them play well. So that's something that Italy desperately needs. And also as a regista, he's usually good at, look at Lobotka. Lobotka became one of the best registas under him. And in his career, he's usually good at that. It's going to take a lot with Locatelli, but I'm here for that if he could do something because I still have that question mark around Locatelli.
Probably Tonali is going to play in front of the defense.
But Tonali's been doing really well. He won, I think, Newcastle Player of the Month.
Yeah, he did.
In his first month, and he's got the more freedom to go up. But yeah, it could be Tonali as well.
He plays in a 3-man midfield also on Newcastle, so that's going to suit. I think he plays on the right mid side. So I don't know. I'm sure he's going to fit it.
He bombs forward a lot.
Him. But I don't know. I don't like the Immobile there. Politano's only there because they're buddy from Napoli. And Gnonto, I would have liked him. He's playing very good at Leeds. I would start these kinds of. I mean,
well, he's there. He called them up.
I know, but I would start these kinds of guys. They bring something that these other guys that are starting not starting.
I think we'll see a lot of the Napoli.
We'll see. It's under Spalletti, so it's going to be different football regardless. Even if it's the same names, we're going to see different football, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just very excited.
It's the first game. We got to give him a chance. Let me see what... The only question mark I have is Immobile, but the rest of them, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see the defense too, because I know I've said the qualities that we have. My fear still is... Defensively, our center backs, we don't have the center backs of the future yet that have been proven. You know, we went from Bonucci, Chiellini, Barzagli, great center backs. Also, Acerbi should be...
wasn't he hurt?
Yeah, but Acerbi could be the reference point for the team going forward because he did amazing.
It's Casale. Who's his partner?
It's Casale, and I think I said Bastoni. We got to bet on Bastoni.
Casale's like a little...
But in a 4-man back line. Yeah. We'll see. And Di Marco is amazing in left back. Di Lorenzo is probably going to become the captain because he knows him really well, and he's playing amazing at Napoli right now. But exciting times around. Yeah. Guys, that's the podcast. One more reminder, hats, a couple still available. Probably won't be by the time.
For much longer,
for very long. If you're watching, make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, we'll talk to you soon. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao guys.
I was going to say something about that idiot of Mancini, but...
It's not too late. You still have it here. You didn't hit it under you. Speak your mind. There's the camera.
I'm disappointed on Mancini. I mean, the guy, he just should have said, listen, I got the money... And show me the money. They show him the money. Just go. Don't say anything bad about the federation, the president thing. It's it doesn't look good. You got the money. Just run with the money. Say, hey, listen, I couldn't refuse. How can you refuse 90 million? You can't.
That's hard, right? All right.
I'll take one from the Saudis.
Gaetano Messina.